Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be going over the 10 books that I have on my summer TBR. I've tried to keep it a little bit smaller because usually I have a huge long list and then I feel really sad when I don't read any of that list. So we're gonna try to keep it small and attainable. But these are the 10 books that I'm hoping to get to this summer. Okay, we're gonna be starting off with the romance genre, which does have, I think, the majority of the books on this list, just because I think summer is the perfect, well, actually, I think year-round romance is perfect, but especially in the summer, I just feel like there's a lot of really great summer romances. So starting off this list, we have Attached at the Hip by Christine Riccio. This follows Ori, who applies to participate in a reality TV show where she will be stranded on an island and is playing in a series of games in order to win $1 million. But when she gets cast for the show, they announced that the season will be like an experimental romance edition of the show. And when she gets there, she realizes that her high school crush was also casted to be on the show. According to what I've seen about this book, it's like Survivor meets The Bachelor. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of fun, and this cover is so pretty. I love it. The next book I have on this list is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is a reread. I read this book last year in a video where I tier ranked Emily Henry's most popular books, and I absolutely loved it. Gave it a 4.5 stars. This book follows Augustus and January, who are both very successful novelists, and this summer they happen to be living right next to each other, and both authors are kind of struggling with writer's block, so they strike up this deal where they have to write from each other's genres. So Augustus, who normally writes literary fiction, will have to write romance, and January, who writes romance, will have to write a literary fiction book. Kind of in order to like help each other figure out the genre, they go on little weekly field trips where they learn more about the genre they're writing. It's so fun. The summer vibes immaculate in this book. I love the characters too. Like, it's so interesting reading about authors and just kind of seeing that side of the writing process. And Emily Henry's writing is just chef's kiss. It is beautiful. Her metaphors and her imagery, like her stories really just come to life. I absolutely loved this book. Like I said, I give it a 4.5 stars. I'm wondering with a reread if that will be bumped up to a 5 stars. Next, I have Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the third book in the Knock 'Em Out series, which is a small town romance series. But basically, like in the background of all the romance is another plot with a criminal gang that pretty much just harasses the main characters from that small town. This book in specific follows Lucian and Sloane. Based off of what I've read and how these characters interact in the previous books, I believe this is a second chance romance. Something happened between them in the past and now they absolutely hate each other. Sloane's a librarian and Lucian is involved in some, I don't want to say shady business, but he definitely has some pull, some leeway. But mostly his main goal throughout these books has been protecting his friends from the people who are harassing them. These books, I have liked them so far. I've given them 3 stars each so far, but I want to finish out the series. This is the last book. It's not that I don't like the characters or anything like that. Like, the plot's really interesting to me. The books are just very, very long, and so sometimes I feel like they're too long. So that's why they usually end up being a 3 stars, but I'm really excited for this one. The tension between Lucian and Sloane has really been building up throughout this series, so I'm interested to see how it plays out in this last book. The next book I have, Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. This is the 5th and final book in the Windy City series, which is a set of interconnected standalone sports romances. This book in specific follows Rio and Hallie, and I think this is also a second chance romance. Rio is a professional hockey player in Chicago, and Hallie ends up moving to Chicago for a huge internship opportunity, and just like they were next door neighbors when they were teenagers, they are now next door neighbors again. It sounds really interesting. I've really loved all the other books in this series so far, especially Rio, like seeing Rio's character. In all the books, he's very, just like a very interesting, quirky, silly character, so I'm really interested to see him come alive in this book and see how his romance plays out. The next book also isn't released yet. This one will be released in June. That is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. This book follows Joni, who's a very popular songwriter, but she's going through writer's block, so she decides to return to her hometown in hopes of finding some sort of inspiration. And when she gets there, she starts to hear a half-finished melody in her head, with a man's voice to go with it, and she's never met this man until he turns up in her hometown with the same song stuck in his head. And so they kind of have to work together to write out this song and hope that whatever is connecting them kind of stops. I love Ashley Poston. I have probably gone on numerous long rants about how much I love her writing and her characters and the magic in her books. Like, these books have some sort of magical realism. Like in this one, I'm assuming it's whatever is connecting these two characters with the same song in their head. But all of her contemporary romance books have had this sort of magic woven in through them, and I absolutely love them. I love her characters. I love her writing. Like, I can't gush about her enough. So I'm so excited for this next book to come out. Best believe the day it comes out, I will be going to pick that up. The next book I have, I think this is the last romance I have on my summer TBR, is Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. This is the second book in the Love and Gelato series. And this one follows Addie, who's the best friend from the main character in the first book. And in this book, she is going to Ireland for her aunt's wedding. When she gets there, she finds a guidebook called Ireland for the Heartbroken. And so she changes her summer plans to go traveling across the country following this guidebook with her brother and his very cute Irish friend. The first book I really liked. I reread it recently and I gave it a 4 stars. It's just a very fun young adult romance, but it has some deeper emotional undertones, and I don't doubt that this will be any different. I think in this book in specific, Addie and her brother are kind of going through like a rough patch in their sibling relationship. Like, they have to work through that during this road trip, so I'm really excited to read about that. Love and Gelato does a very good job of incorporating the Italian setting into the book. I'm really hoping we get a similar vibe here with the Irish setting. Next, we're moving on to literary fiction. I only have 2 books in this genre that I am hoping to pick up this summer. The first one is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. This follows Kate and Tully, who become neighbors, then best friends in the summer before 8th grade. And it kind of follows their friendship for the next 30 years until one act of betrayal threatens to tear them apart. That kind of sounded dramatic. I have heard really great things about this book. My mom watched the TV show. She absolutely loved it. She's the one who bought me this book because she was like, you need to read it and then watch the TV show, and I haven't done that yet and I feel so bad. But I really do want to get to this summer, especially because I've read a little bit from Kristen Hanna recently. Last fall, I read The Women by Kristen Hanna, and I loved that book. I gave it a 5 stars. It's like a historical fiction, so I guess this is kind of historical fiction too, because it spans 30 years from when the girls first meet and then to the present day. But she's just an amazing writer. It's pretty thick. It's kind of scaring me. And then the next book that I recently bought that I'm hoping to read this summer is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book follows Daisy Jones, who is a young up-and-coming singer who joins Billy and his up-and-coming band, The Six, on their first ever tour, and basically the rest is history. And this book is told as like an oral history of Daisy Jones and this band and kind of what happens, I guess. It's set in the 60s and 70s, which I think is also, I guess I have 2 historical fictions. I probably could have just put this under the historical fiction category, not literary fiction, but oh well. The structure, I'm very interested in it, and it being a oral history. And I've heard this is just so full of drama. This was also turned into a TV show, and I heard that was really good, especially the songs that come from this book, having them be created with like actual music in real life turned out really good, I've heard. So I'm very excited to pick this up. Next, we're moving on to the mystery thriller category. Again, I only have 2 books in, well, 2 books and then kind of. I'm gonna ask your guys' opinion on the third one. But the first book is Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the second book in the Natural series, which is a young adult mystery thriller that feels a lot like Criminal Minds, but with teenagers. The main character is Cassie, who has this gift where she's able to profile people, and she has landed a job in the FBI in a program full of other talented teenagers who all work together to help solve cold cases. The first book was really good. Like I said, the Criminal Minds vibes, very strong, very prevalent. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm excited to finally get to the second book. I've also read the Inheritance Games by her, and I think she does a great job of like not only setting up a very good mystery, but giving the readers hints that could like help them solve the mystery. Like I feel like we're solving the mystery right along with Cassie. I don't know if that makes sense, but I really, really enjoy it. So I'm really excited to get to this book. The next book I've had for quite some time is Finley Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano. This is about Finley Donovan, who is a struggling single mother, and she also writes suspense novels. So one day when she is discussing the plot of her new novel with her agent, another woman overhears and mistakes Finley as being a contract killer. And so Finley, I guess, accidentally accepts an offer to help this woman get rid of a problematic husband and gets herself caught up in a real life murder case. That sounds so entertaining, and I've heard really great things about this book in specific. I've heard the other books in the series aren't as good, but I've heard this one is really funny and interesting and lighthearted as a mystery, and I think that's what I'm going for this summer with my mysteries, is something a little bit more lighthearted, fast-paced, easy to read, but not too like suspenseful, not too thrilling, something that won't give me a ton of anxiety. And then finally, I am thinking about picking up a book by Ellen Hildebrand. I last summer read Nantucket Nights by this author, and I did not like it. Practically DNF'd it, gave it a 1 star. That one was about 3 women who are having their annual dinner when one of the women goes missing into the ocean. I don't think you were supposed to like any of the characters in this book, but like I really did not like any of the characters in this book. And one of the women has a relationship with a 17-year-old boy, and that was just really icky. Did not like it. I was so uncomfortable. I did think the writing was fast-paced. I thought it could be a good summer read, and I've heard a lot of her books are actually really good summer reads, like beach reads. So I want to give her another try. So I'm opening up the question to you all with what book from her should I pick up? Let me know down in the comments which one I should read. But yeah, those are all the books on my summer TBR. Hopefully I actually get to them this summer. I'm sure I will. I really hope I will. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!